Alright, g'day everybody, welcome to Tier 1 AFR here at Singapore on this lovely Sunday night. I'm here, Jacob Meister, tonight. No Kunai, sadly, he's currently busy. And with me tonight is Seb.
Hello, hello.
Alrighty, just get ourselves situated here. Let me know if everything's okay in the chat, guys. I've had to sort of scrounge this one up, but should be all good. And while we're back, Tier 1, you guys, hopefully you all enjoyed Tier 3. It was a bloody good race. I crashed lap 1, but I'm sure everybody else enjoyed it. But see how the Tier 1 boys go tonight.
You really didn't have to do yourself like that.
I started hards too, like, I was just set for failure. Anyway.
On the wet race. The general theme around Singapore is that there's been mixed conditions, but from what I'm seeing, it's supposed to be a dry race. So, first car out on track, Matt Dubry, followed by Feber, and the McLaren of Pacey, and then the McLaren on the grid today. I don't think we have any flyball here. Flyboy, I think he has pulled out of racing.
He has.
I'm sure you can confirm, Jacob.
Yeah, he has, yeah. He just suddenly left, so he's been good with us for a few seasons. Fair few seasons, actually. He's been around a while now, hasn't he?
I think since season 1 at least.
Wow.
Or season 2.
One of the veterans gone, yeah. Just very quickly, a couple of subs rolling in. Keeper for 16 months and Bandit 21 months. I feel like you're just flexing the guys, but thank you so much for continuing the sub. Alright, and I'm just on Macadabra here, just as he's on his outlap here.
I've got that on my other screen as he's running through the last sector, the very technical last sector on the softs. So general theme so far, lower drives out on the softs.
Yeah, interesting, because that's not necessarily the most optimal tyre straight, is it?
Yeah, not really. We'll see what comes of it. My guess is that it's sunny, but Matt W to round turn 22 and 23 and get his lap underway. So crucial, get that DRS down and keep that car as straight as possible. Carry as much speed to those last two corners into turn 1, braking just under that sign, mashing those curves right there and getting it tight into turn 3. Unwind the car and just pin that roll down through 4 and into 5 now, braking at that 50-meter sign. Early apex and the car just wants to understeer, but hopefully you get a bit of rear end rotation to swing it around as the DRS opens up through turn 6. Not really a corner, but it is counted 1 nevertheless. Turn 7, you get a bit of understeer through here, and it tightens on you a fair bit. One of the overtaking zones on the track as turn 8 comes at you very fast, very easy to understeer and go in too deep. Turn 9, you'll be careful not to hit that little barrier that sticks out in the wall. On the run down to the Singapore Sling, famously remodeled back in 2013. 10, 11 and 12, very tough half section tyre temps. We're starting to scream at the moment into turn 13. They get a little bit of a break on the throttle, just slam it down, DRS open. Give those tyres a little bit of breather as they will have to fight and fight and fight through that last sector of 14 all the way to 23. There you go, 14, bit deep, bit too much steering locks by the look of it, into 16 and 17. It's a series of chicanes, right, left, right, left, through 16 all the way to 21. Under the tunnel we go. Clip those curves, just kiss that outside wall, braking on that box to the right hand side. It's a turning point as well. Go over those curbs. It's very kind to you on this track. They don't even give you damage as well. Go over this inside curve of 22, keep it right to 23, and that is the lap of Singapore. First lap 35.9. That's not a bad way to start a session. Pacey over the line, whole 6/10 off, and here comes Fever, the hot man for the session. 34.9 already.
Wow.
Time's coming out. Fever is the favourite so far.
Incredible lap from Fever there. I think that was about on pace with the top guys in Tier 3 as well, from memory. And they've just set that already now, so can't believe it.
Just shows the class of Fever. This is a track and a half for him. We'll find him absolutely dominating, but this track, as you know, Jacob, you went out in lap 1. It's a race of attrition. All about that mental battle as you go through 31 long laps of minute 40 lap times in the dry, not including any of those safety cars or wet weather situations. Jackson and Trin jumping up into P3 and 4 respectively. T-Mac there as well, getting Matt Dubry. Beatty Nuts, first time racing in AFR in Tier 1. 37.3 is, I believe that was Pond, a 36.1, getting in front of Pacey into that P7 slot, so nearly half the grid with times out on the board. Actually, no, it is exactly half the grid. Now it's just more.
Uh, 10 out of
Lucky gal.
18 in Macau.
Oh,
Ooh, 35 flat. Second place so far, yeah.
now our championship leader, hot seat, 35-3, Jacob, but invalid, so he will have to wait around for his next opportunity, which will be his next run, I'd presume, with that red flashing fuel light. But, I think it's a perfect opportunity on board with Wahid right now. Flying lap in that Alpine, currently sitting 16th in the championship. 4 point scoring positions to his name, 2 P8 to P7 and P5. Just winding off this lap now. Final sector, he's got a car in front of him, actually a couple of cars just all swabbled up in that final sector. There's a Williams coming back on track. Oh, he's just gone too far over the right hand side of that turn 17 curve, and we'll see that a fair bit, not only in qualifying, but in the races these drivers push the limits trying to cover as little track as possible.
Yeah, you can easily get a couple of tyres on the inside of that curb where Wahid was going in, but he just mounted that curb, I think, with his front right, and that's what caused that invalidation in the end. And he won't have enough areas to go again.
No, combined YouTube right now, 3 sector 1, apparently a purple first sector. All remains to be true. But he's been with us since season 3, been in tier 1 all those seasons.
He has been.
He's done well enough to keep his seat. He's had a lot of points scoring positions for someone who doesn't have the best pace in the world. He keeps it clean and he finds himself in some good positions from time to time. I believe he's, I think, P11 in the championship, P10. I know he's one spot behind Trim. That's all I know. I'll have to have a look again. But
he's been getting very good points recently. Good couple of 4th and 5th place finishes. Which is very good to see. He'll be happy about it as well. Very consistent driver he is.
Very consistent. Another purple sector. I'm just going to assume that combined is on a flyer, regardless of whatever pace he's had in the past. We have had a 3-week break, ladies and gentlemen. If you're tuning in, this is, I believe, round 16. Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong.
18? 17?
18. I don't know. It's
one
24 rounds. It's one of those 3 that we mentioned. Come on, over. Final 2 corners. PRS opens across the line, jumps into P10, so just in front of Pacey. But keep in mind that lap time was around 4 to 5 minutes before Pacey, so a little bit of track evolution in there. I'd assume that the Alfa Romeo and McLaren drivers are both equal on pace.
Pacey having a wee moment in sector 1. He's just caught that back around. We just saw that from Combined's point of view there. He's lost a fair bit of wing, but he's back going.
Now, Stars reserving. First time in a while we've actually seen him. Classy driver. Gets his elbow out from time to time. Has a fair bit of pace. Former tier 2 champion. Coming in for reserve capacity in that Haas, and you're looking to have a bit of fun tonight, but not cause too much trouble.
Yeah, I think this is his first race since, I think, the first race of the season, I believe. He hasn't raced in a fair bit here. It's good to see him back, though. A little moment there.
Checking right now, Austria was his last race, where he retired.
Well, he'll be wanting to do better than that. Nearly catching the Rolex wall there.
Nearly catching. I think he did, Jacob. Slight dent to the ego right there. Not a lot can dent this man's strut. In that final sector, last corner navigate, turn 13, power down on that pad. A little bit of extra juice out of there. DRS open, Pasty to the side after beating it on his his hot lap. Going a bit deep there, Stars not taking the ideal line. You can see that reflected in that line he took. Out of turn 14, didn't use all of the track now. Turn 16 and 17, misses the apex of 17. Detrimental to lap time, doesn't use all the track on the entry to 18, now 19. Oh, he's flying that real end around. Just about held ahead of you, dude, Stars.
Oh, there's a wonderful redrift there. Still one more turn to go, and he will have a valid lap on board, though. It's not...
One turn, technically 2. Not the fastest way to go around a corner as he drifts it, but last in the leaderboard. I think he'll be happy he got that out. He gets style 100. I wish we could give out points for style points, because that's very good. His teammate Batemate right now in the middle sector, up 1/10, Jacob. 1/10 on his time.
Batemate, yeah, he's surprised me with his pace this season. He's done really well. And he's only improved as well. He's had some really strong results recently.
Only improved indeed. Oh, we might have cursed him a little bit.
Whoops.
Just a bit too much. Too much on the throttle louder. 13, Jacob cursing. Jackson starting a hot lap now, out of turn 3.
Yes, Artanis on my end.
Yeah, that's Artanis. I'll try and say Artanis, but I've got the image.
I need to nickname him, yeah.
What's interesting is Faber yet to come out of the pit, so I'm assuming he'll be going on to the mediums. I know he can beat his time. He can do a 34.8 according to his words on medium tyres. But Jackson, the purple sector 1, we've seen that a fair bit, and it not be entirely true. So we'll hold off on those reservations for now.
Yeah, just for now. Yeah, I briefly saw Faber flick to the medium tyre, so he's probably waiting for that. Also can confirm round 17 this week. This is in the title. I just remembered.
In Japan next week, so...
Oh, yeah.
2 classic tracks, to be honest with you. Singapore, one of those modern era classic tracks, the night race and the tight street circuit. And then you got Japan, good old Suzuka. I honestly wish it was later in the season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How a classic it is. Hard racing. Very hard to get overtakes done there, but you can do it. Oh, Jackson invalidates, I believe that was in turn 17 once again.
Yeah, he was free teams up as well, so that will hurt quite a bit. Would have just got him by bait made in terms of time, but he's still got one more shot.
Potsy now just winding out his lap. He's coming up behind Jackson at the moment. Final 2 corners to go. Throw it in. Not the most confident today, but he crosses the line. He goes P3, so the championship leader with a little bit of confidence. Well, that's showing he's got a fair bit to him, not just a little bit. 1/10 off his main championship competitor at the moment. There is 33 points off him at the moment. Mikau, there's an answer for you. 34.737 from the AlphaTauri driver. Defending champion, trying to have a good start to his 2022 and kickstart his fight back in this championship, Jacob.
Yeah, great time there from him. It's a couple of teams ahead as well, but I mean, if what you're saying about Faber's correct, but it might change his mind on whether he's going to do the mediums or not. I don't know. This is going to be interesting now.
I believe he will go out mediums, just with how he's still sitting on the softs. Unless he's doing
10,
something. Yeah, unless he's doing something in his household. And, that's a different story. But Big Al and Simdogger, 2 drivers that are on hot laps, both on the opposite ends of the track. One starting sector 2, one finishing sector 2.
He's just on the Big Al now. He's currently a 10th up on his time. Still got a bit of a way to go if he wants to catch Potsy with a 35.1, and he's invalidated.
Oh, we're not going too good right there. He'll get another crack at it, Jacob, but those are certainly momentum kills. Simdogger right now, heading through over that bridge into turn 13. It's a hard section to nail. You didn't get to drive it. I don't think you did get to drive it, Jacob, did you? You finished it.
I did once.
Turn 5, sorry. No, you did once, okay. You got to turn 14, which is where Simdogger is right now.
I crashed into it about 40 k's, yeah.
40 k's. Does that break yourself?
Just about, yeah.
Just about. Car's fault, not yours.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh well. I mean, slicks on the old wet track, you know? It's just
hard tyres as well.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
Simdogger, yep. As he backs out his lap, not happy with it.
Yeah, he only one
T-Mac.
more.
I think T-Mac's the only driver on that. No, he's invalidated here, so I think everyone is going to come into the pits and go again as Beaky Nuts. Only driver out on track who will be starting a lap very soon.
Well, he's got some clear air, I suppose.
A lot of clear air. He could almost do 2 runs, but it's just a question of whether those soft tyres will have too much wear at the start of the race. And yes, I guess we'll have to see if there is rain. But,
yeah, it depends, because 10th place is currently held by Pondham with a 36.1. He's got a fair bit of time to find. I guess we'll find out if he does have the pace, as he starts his flying lap here.
Find out indeed. Alpine has just left the pits. That is Wahid, and another Williams. That is Faber on the medium tyres, so we'll have a good look at Faber when he comes around for his flying lap. But right now, all eyes on Beatty Nuts going through turns 2 and 3. Just misses the apex of turn 3, getting that powered down out of it through turn 4. On the run down to turn 5, throwing that car in just very smooth on that steering input. Don't often see those drivers that smooth, but seems like he's got it hooked up nicely, Jacob, as he goes on to finish the first sector.
Yeah, that's roughly the same sector time that Combined had. He's currently in 11th place, so this isn't shaping up to be a bad lap so far. He's keeping it very clean so far, using all the track. That's how he handles this wee left-hander. Some drivers have taken it a bit wide, he's been a bit more cautious, but...
Quite a shallow entry to turn 8, just missed the apex. Sorry, turn 9, just missed the apex of turn 10. Nice turn 11, bit tentative through turn 12, but you normally see that with a lot of drivers is that curve can catch you off guard if you take it wrong, which I think he did. Turn 13, puddle down, gets a bit of a pull here from Wahid. Different teams, that doesn't mean Wahid doesn't want to give him a little help. 5.5 tenths up on his time. This will see him, I don't think it'll see him jump any positions, but it will certainly be a confidence booster into the race. Yellow flag sector 1 and 2, that's just a slow Haas on that the second DRS straight. Trin is retired. I think that's in the pits.
Yep.
As all Beatty Nuts a bit wide. Under the tunnel we go, and out of it. A bit of time on the board, just taking it all so cautious. Throttle down, getting that car out of 21 into 22 and 23. The double left-hander. What can he do? Yeah, 36.3. He has jumped into P11. That's a prime spot to be in if he can hold on to it and combine YouTube with the likes of Pacey, not improve. But I'll be betting that they will, as Feber's about to start his lap, Jake.
Yes, now Faber on the medium tyre. The gap between these two tyres is not massive, and Faber, if he can improve, will be in a pretty decent position in terms of tyre strategy going into the race, but he has to improve first. And these first few corners have been pretty decent so far, although we'll get a better idea as he rolls past this first sector time here. A lot of curve on the inside of that right-hander. This is looking pretty clean so far.
I feel like he's absolutely nailed that, Jacob, and by the second times he's just up in this first sector. That's a good sign. It's a very good sign. He's left himself time in case he does muck up this lap to go again at a 12-second buffer between when he crossed the line and the lap time. Potsy has retired. And I believe that's turn 5 for the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, don't know if that was intentional. Oh, Feeble with a wee moment there. He did catch it though, pretty well done.
He did catch it. Maybe his teammate might have outside him there, but it all comes down to what this split will be, Jacob.
Yeah, coming down this DRS straight now, a couple of seconds away, let's see what it is. He's down a 10th, but he can still find it potentially. I'm not too sure. Last few corners, this is actually pretty tense.
This is very intense as well. Keep in mind those soft tyres would have been dying at the end of this lap. These medium tyres have a bit of life to them.
Yeah.
6 more corners to navigate.
He nearly cut 17. We saw what he did pretty much the same line and get invalidated, so he's pushing it right to the edge right now. This couldn't be much better.
Oh, it's so clean. He's just going to absolutely nail this final section to the line. He can't improve, and that will be his qualifying. Mikhail, a purple middle sector as we just go through this grid. Big Al will be next across the line. What will he do? He'll jump up into P2, just getting Feber by 17,000 of a second. I believe Batemate will be next across the line. He's 3 turns up in his time. He gets Feber and Big Al as well. So how do you do? Time's dropping right now. Wahid into P7, Matt Dabry into P6. I believe Pondon has jumped Beatty Nuts into P11, and Jackson is into P7 at the moment. T-Mac currently on a lap in the middle sector. Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle. There's Mikhail. Oh, what a lap.
Wow.
What a lap from Mikhail.
Okay, that's illegal. That's illegal. No.
Criminal.
Amazing lap there from Mikhail, and I think that solidifies pole position there.
Just about solidifies pole position. Simdogger rounding up the far sector. Not the only one. He's got Pondon. Leave T-Mac as well. Don't forget about Stars. He was off the track, and Sandeezy. Wahid was also, I believe, improving on his lap time as well. Here comes Simdogger now, yet to set a lap time in that Ferrari. Oh, so crucial time to get out. Oh, nearly invalidates Jacob. But to get to the line. He will improve to 8th position. Pondon to the line, up at 10th, gets to P11 once again. So crucial time. T-Mac jumps to P8, but Pondon in that crucial P11 spot. For the Aston Martin driver, Sandeezy will not get a time on the board. He starts in last position, but just behind Stars. But Mikhail. Clear 6 tenths ahead of the field, but don't forget about Feber on those medium tyres.
Yeah, a few drivers still out lapping, but looks like they're all done. Big Al had invalidated, and Bait won't be on a run here, I don't think. No. But yeah, no, that's an insane lap from Mikhail. That was crazy. Pondon obviously is in a pretty good spot for tyres. Same for combined as well. And Trin, can't forget Trin. Although very hard to overtake around here.
Well,
interesting.
Sorry, I believe Trin. This is what Trin wants. He wanted to start just outside that top 10. I think that he was one position out of where he would have liked. But he gets those fresh selection of tyres. You can do a free strategy. You can start on those medium tyres if he wants to, because those soft tyres overheat too quickly, and those hard tyres have no pace to them at all. But the defending champion Jacob Mikhail has It's quite a statement after the break, the 3-week break we had.
Yeah, I remember seeing Fever immediately practicing Singapore after our last race. We had a 3 week break. He's just immediately into it, and I've, it's a shame he didn't hook it up there because him being on the mediums would have been a huge spanner in the works. Would have
Would
really
have been
thrown things apart here. But yeah, the tyre strategy is going to be the most interesting part because everybody's on these softs in the top 10 almost. So
well, there we go. Mick out, pole position in that Alpha Tauri, whole 6 tenths ahead of Batemate in that Haas. I believe that might be Batemate's first ever front row in Tier 1, but not too sure. Someone can confirm that for me. Big out in the Mercedes P3. Nice way to start his season off, year off, just ahead of Feber in that Williams suit. We've got to keep an eye on because that time on the mediums did not come to fruition. Potsy retired early, P5 with Matt Kadabri right behind in the championship rivals from season 5 on the third row. Jackson, T-Mac, Simdogger, and Wahid round out our top 10. 1.19 seconds is Wahid off of pole position. Pondon combined very close to each other in P11 and 12 on the sixth row with Trin, Pacey, Beating Nuts, Bluey, Stars, and Sandeezy. Also the other 6 of the 8 outside the top 10.
Yeah, quite competitive. 1 second splitting the top 10. Interesting to see how things pan out for this race. It should be dry the way everyone sort of planned this one out. Don't see anybody trying anything different there.
With how Fever played it out, I'm assuming it's going to be dry, and what I'm seeing is no clouds in the sky. So by the looks of it, we are getting very dry conditions.
Yeah,
Waiting for drivers to get their setups finalised, those tyre pressures, those wings, and their strategies as well, fuel loads, and the guys outside the top 10, what tyres they will be starting on. But you are going to say, Jacob.
yeah. Well, they're probably medium hard is probably going to be the way most people will go, but obviously qualifying softs to get that track position. And it's funny if Faber didn't set that and set that 34.9 banker at the start, he probably would have started around the top 5 anyway on the medium tire. Like it's quite unfortunate for him really because he was only about a tenth off his time on the softs.
Yeah, that's very true, and I think he backs himself here enough to be able to get up to Mikau and have a chance at that 2-stop strategy and maybe beating Mikau because safety car's very prominent here. I was saying early on at the start of qualifying that this race is all about keeping it clean. Doesn't matter how fast you are, but if you can't keep it out of the walls and out of your opponents, then you're very likely to be not scoring any points. As we are now getting underway for the formation lap, so we'll just have a quick look at the tyres picked. Everyone in the top 10 obviously on softs combined. One of the only drivers outside of the top 10 on the soft tyres. Pond and Pacey, Beatty and Stars on the mediums, and Trent, Bluey, and Sandeezy on the hards. So interesting little mix outside the top 10 there.
So the hards make some sort of sense, but the problem is that if there's an early safety car, then it puts you in an awkward position for tyres later because you're going to be going on to either mediums that won't last the rest of the race, or you have to do a soft sim, which doesn't last many laps anyway, which is a bit odd that combines chosen softs as well, but he might be trying to two-stop or something crazy, I'm not too sure, but there's a fair bit of variance in the strategy. It's quite interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if Combine looks at a soft hard here. You can do it. Hards can go the whole entire race at about 60% wear to the end. Medium's about 20 laps, you get to 60%. But
the hards are slow.
Hards are so slow. That's the problem with them. But I almost think starting mediums is the way to go because get an early safety car, you can go into the hards, or if your safety car comes out a bit later, you can commit to a with the hards again. Sorry, I've mixed that around. If you get an early safety car, you can commit to a soft medium once again. But if you get a later safety car, you can commit to that hard strategy all the way to the end. This track is such a mind kerfuffle of what strategy do you pick? There's about 6 different ones you can pick.
Yeah, but it's also what makes it very interesting. Like this in Mexico, a couple of other tracks in the calendar. It's not just the same old one strategy will do. No, there's a couple of things you can do here, especially with that short pit lane, or relatively short pit lane, I should say. It opens up some strategy, and especially with a high safety car probability, it does leave a lot of things to happen. As they come around the last couple of turns now.
Yeah, as the RS takes over, Mikhail will lead the pack onto the grid. Sandeezy a fair bit behind Stars, maybe just trying to get those hard tyres up the tent. You know how hard they are. Keeping them at a solid temperature. Just about to catch up now as fangs it around turn 21, and Isaiah takes over, and we wait on him to form up onto the grid slot as we have 18 drivers. First race in Tier 1. for 2022. It's round 17 in Tier 1, Season 7 of AFR. And Mikhail will lead us away. Defending champion in P1, the championship leader in P5. Those 5 lights are turning on. And they switch off, and it is time for racing here in Singapore. Looks like Potty didn't get it too good of a start, but everyone up front did. Big Al with an absolutely stellar launch, and so is Fever. Batemate having a look down the inside as Fever tries to hold it around the outside. Side by side they go through turn 3. Batemate looks like he pulls ahead of Fever. Fever getting a bit squirrely out of the corners. We go down the grid. Doesn't look like a lot of position changes. No real instance. Wahid battling Simdoggers. There's a car, I believe, lunging down the inside of Wahid. I think that was Pondon down the inside of Wahid. Simply nice move from the Aston Martin drivers. He goes side by side with Simdogger on the run down to turn 5. Oh, there they go. Simdogger just pushing Pondon wide as up ahead. Fever very close to Batemate having a look. Batemate has fallen off the back of Big Al, and Mikhail getting a storming start at the moment.
Simdogger and Pondon still side by side. They have not let each other go here. Simdogger still on the inside here.
Oh, so tired. It's such a hard spot to go side by side, leaving him no room. Pondon might have got a warning there, Jacob.
Yeah, but
absolutely no room on the inside, but position conceded. Stars, yellow flag in sector 2. That is Stars at the back of the grid. Sandeezy and Bluey go by him. Sandeezy up 2 positions. He's the biggest gainer, but no instance so far. So great start for these Tier 1 drivers, and even better start for Mick Out and Big Al, who are a whole second clear of their next closest rival behind them.
yeah, Batemate at the start just sort of being a little bit of a cork in the bottle here for Faber and Potsy, who really just want to be trying to get him at the moment. These two are on a bit of a different level in terms of pace. Obviously fighting for the championship a bit more actively. Nico and Big Al will just be getting a nice wee gap here, and it's going to be hard to close them down once Darius does close down. Or does open up, I should say.
Now, lap 2. Mikhail leads from Big Al, Batemate, Fever. Potsy closely behind Fever, looking to gain some positions. Then Matt Dubry follows Jacob behind him with T-Mac, Simdogger, Pondon, Wahid, and a little potential DRS train that could start at the start of lap 3. Trin 1.2 seconds behind, so he gains 1 position off the start with Pacey in P13, Devine in P14, Sandeezy P15. As we have position change between Jackson and Matt Dubry out of turn 5 through 6 on the run down to 7. Here comes Jackson, completely outbrakes Matt Dubry can see in the corner. It's Pacey now getting by Trin. Hard tyres, those medium tyres. Those medium tyres will be a lot more hotter than those hards and have a lot more grip. Pacey in the McLaren gets by the Red Bull driver. Ooh, a bit of a snap from Trin right there. Combined YouTuber all over his rear wing.
Yeah, combined on the soft tyre. Hasn't really made any positions. In fact, he's actually lost a couple. We just quickly checked.
I think he's lost to Pacey and Trin.
Yeah, he's lost 2 spots. Sandeezy up 3 spots as well. Not too much movement in the grid otherwise.
They were very clean starters, I was saying before. Not a lot of movements, so not a lot of amazing starts, barring Big Al, who almost had a run at Mikhail, you could say, into turn 1, but it's such a short run to that turn 1 corner in that turn 1, 2, 3 complex that it's hard to get a move out right there. We're about to tick over to lap 3. Mikhail just branding out those final 4 corners. He does have Big Al in his ERS. Fever, Batemate fighting through this final sector. Batemate.
Wow.
Is that Fever? No, Fever pitting.
No, that's Mikhail pitting. And Fever.
And
Fever's
Fever.
reacting. Same for Potsy.
It.
Well, they don't
They
want
like
the
it,
soft
yeah.
fall off, don't they?
Yeah, well, soft falls off next lap, literally. So I can understand pitting this early.
And
It'd be
Bluey's
so
retired.
unfortunate. Bluey has. Oh my goodness! If there's a safety car, is there a safety car? Right
VSC.
now?
Oh, that's a cheap pit
A
stop.
VSC.
Wow.
That's a cheap pit stop. Wow.
That is
Big Al will
ridiculous.
be brewing at this.
That is ridiculous. So those that just pitted, Mikhail, Potsy and Fever, they've essentially gotten a cheaper pit stop. They've because everybody else is going slower on the track due to the VSC, they can just go ahead and pit as they want to. And they've gone for mediums as well, so I don't know if there's something planned or if it's a 2-stop. Must just be a 2-stop.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-stop, soft, medium, medium. Big Al would be absolutely fuming right now.
Now that is just fortunate on their behalf, because that VSC came out after they pit, obviously. But that's still... Oh.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't pit seeing Mikhail come in, because that undercut is massive.
Did he, Big Al was about a second behind Mikhail. Yeah, he could have reacted, that's true. They might have just thrown him off guard. I don't know if he was aware he could have done that. It might not have been his plan in the first place, I'm not sure.
We'll see if anything comes of it after the race, but at the moment he leads, but we expect him to pit rather soon.
It's what do? You kind of have to react, don't you?
There's no other way around it. Louis has left the session.
Yeah, we're back underway now. It's either react now or go for the one stop, I suppose. Wow.
I'll tell you what, Pon is all over the back of Simdog, showing he's got some real pace on those medium tyres. Simdog are really struggling on their softs. It must be Pacey getting by Wahid or going side by side at least. Under the tunnel they go. Bit of argy-bargy between the two, but Pacey will swoop around the outside, out of the tunnel, out of 19 into 20, and get that move done on the Alpine driver. See if anyone pits right now.
Yes.
See Jackson come into the pits. Big Al stays out, Jacob. So
Wow.
I think he could be going long onto the hards here, or maybe begging for a safety car at this point.
Yeah, with the cheap pit stop, the two stop is just looking a lot more viable with that now. These mediums, like we said, the hards are just way slower. That's just really it. They'll last forever, but they're just way slower. So these medium runners are going to be at a pretty good advantage, and they will last a fair while. They don't have to worry about any tyre fall off.
Well, closest battle on track right now, Pacey, Wahid and Trin, separated by just about a second between the three. As yellow flags and stars spinning. He's had about, I think he's had about 30 minutes of practice, so he's done about 3 laps, one or the other. So
Oh, and he's just about made it to the pit exit. There we go. He's got a wing to replace, but anyway. Looking back up front, yeah, there's a few cars on a little DRS train here. DRS train pretty notorious around here, but everyone's sort of spread out, especially due to the VSC. Not seeing too much of that this race, at least so far.
Not too much, yeah. I think that's come down just to that early pit stop with those soft tyres. It jumps up that grid. You see half the grid already pitted onto new medium tyres. So just shows you what happened. And also with that VSC, that really mixes things up. But Sandeezy right now is all over the back of Trin, and Trin has fallen out of DRS range of Wahid right here.
He has. A few followers coming in. Thank you, Ever, AU, Frydog, and Kelsbrook. Hope you're all enjoying this here. Lap 5 of 31 here at Singapore, Tier 1. Some good racing so far. Plenty more to come.
3 drivers spinning. Big Al, Batemate, and Wahid. Big Al onto the mediums. I expect Batemate and Wahid to come onto the medium tyres as well. Bait on the mediums. We'll see what Wahid switches over to. He's on the mediums as well. Mikau sets a fast lap of the race, showing he's the man at the moment, but Faber matches him oh so truly. He's got a lot of ground to cover, that Williams driver. He wants to catch him. Right now, though, Sandeezy and Trin about to go battle out into turn 7. Sandeezy down the inside of the Red Bull driver. Trin trying to hang around the outside, but we'll think better of it. We're just falling behind the Ferrari. We'll just swap positions between P4 and 5. Right now, Pondon is all over the back of T-Max. T-Max still staying out on those soft tyres.
Yeah, he'll be suffering right now. Those softs will have fallen right off, and Pondon is going to get held up a little bit here. Pacey might actually get a bit closer to him here, maybe within DR range almost, but into this lap. Let's see what he can do here.
Pondon driving quite well, touch wood. Don't jinx him. He's found himself at the front of the pack of the only drivers, or drivers not yet to pit. Pole second and a bit clear of Pacey, past 2-time champion back in season 1 and 2. T-Mac is no slouch. He's got several podiums to his name, or a couple here and there. And he can show his pace from time to time.
That indeed. James Forbin as well, thanks for the follow. Kelsbrook asking what the time is. 7:38 Melbourne time, I believe.
That is correct. That is very much correct. 7:38 Melbourne time at the moment. Session starts at 7 o'clock for Tier 1. That is Australian Eastern Daylight Savings time.
And 8:30 for Tier 2. Stick around for that after this.
Don't forget to stick around for that. I believe Mikau will be there. I might be there. I might not. We'll see. We will see.
Good old AFR.
Good old AFR. I believe Trin has had a bit of a mistake somewhere, and Beatty Nuts is now all over the back of him.
Yeah, DRS. Tons of VRS as well, but don't think he's close enough to try to do anything here. Having a look, but no.
He didn't use any of it, so I'm just going to assume that he's in it for the long run here. He's not going to try any long moves. Oh, he's hit Trin. Trin just about holds on to it. Yeah. Beatty Nuts might have a little bit of damage there.
Nothing visible, but he should do, yeah.
Yeah, A very, very suspect incident into turn 8.
It looks like he did sort of like just gather it up and wait for Trin to get going there. I love how you say he's in it for the long run and then he just takes out Trin basically.
Should have touched wood.
Oh dear. Well, a minor incident, not too much time lost, but Mikau is now right up onto Beatty because of this.
Very much so. It is the closest battle on track at the moment. Mikau and Beatty, and Trin just about there. Maybe Trin might play a helping hand in helping out Potsy, who is 4.3 seconds off of defending champion in the AlphaTauri. We all saw that in Abu Dhabi in real life, where Perez absolutely held up Hamilton for about 7 seconds. But it's a bit easier to overtake in this game than it is in real life.
Bit easy when you're not behind the wheel of like $1 million car or whatever. It's just...
Yeah.
Here we go, Mikau.
Oh, bit understeer mid-corner.
He's not going to do anything here.
He'll have to wait, and the problem is, if Beatty gets a good enough run out of turn 5, Mikau will have to juice a fair bit, and that might compromise his battle with Trent.
Trent's gone wide too.
Yes, Trent's gone wide. This could be 3 wide into turn 7. We'll have to wait and see. Yellow flag sector 2, and that's a virtual safety car.
Oh, that's ruined it. Touch wood.
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting to touch wood here.
Oh, it looks like there were stars. Yeah, he's lost all of his wing. Just having a look at his car there. So some debris I'm sure we'll see in the next corner or so.
Right now, Condon is our leader, 1.2. Well, that's just growing, okay. I'm just going to assume 1 second as they go up to Pacey between leader and P2.
Second in a bit there. So the top 5 have not made a pit stop, I believe. Let me just double check this. It's been back underway already. Yep, top 5 have not made a pit stop. Mikau's the first off the stoppers.
Right now, Mikau, right behind Beatty. Might be looking to make a move here. No ERS to note out of that AlphaTauri, but Potsy has taken a fair bit of time out of him. 1 second in the space of 2/3 of a lap. Oh, Mikau having a look. Jeez, that was closing all the way.
He was so close, riding his bumper
So
all the way through.
Smart move to back out as well. He read that well. Oh, Beatty a bit deep. This might open up a move into turn 1. Stars to compromise enough. Stars are retired in the pits. I think he realizes he hasn't enough practice. Bit of a detriment to stay out on track. And here comes Mikau. But Beatty once again, a great exit. At the crucial corners, he gets a good enough exit. And then he gets the help of DRS from Trin, and Mikau can't do it. Potsy has gained by 1 second in the space of a sector.
Oh, here Mikau, here we go.
Mikau throwing, oh, they bang with each other. Beatty and Mikau bang wheels. As here goes Mikau around the outside of Beatty. He's got that move done. Now can he dispatch Trin? He might try to get this done now. He's not using any of that ERS on the Red Bull driver, but Trin may be trying to hold him up as much as possible. Potsy is really charging right now. The championship leader is trying to get back to the defending champion, 2 positions ahead of him. Provisionally, he's just there. He's right there, 2.1 seconds ahead of him. Now it's just under 2 seconds. It is dropping, and it's all with the help of his teammate Trin on those hard tyres. Mikau has nothing to say for this. He can't do anything. He has to sit by and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake Jake.
Yeah, Mikau has lost a lot of time here. There's just nothing he can do.
Oh. And sorry, Mikau having a look around the outside. Potsy's within DRS of Beatty. This is all cooking up rather nicely right now, Jacob. Wow. Here comes Mikau. ERS, DRS. He's going to look around the outside of Trin. Into turn 14 they go. What will Trin do? Oh, he turns across him. And Trin's around. Beatty's going to hold up. Potsy might go for a move on Beatty here. He will on the run down to turn 15 and 16. Potsy down the inside. He's going to go for the move. Trin, wary that his teammates there, just misses the apex. And he'll let Potsy through right then and there.
Yeah, Trin doing the right thing there, kind of had to do that there. He's not fighting these guys, but he's just in the wrong place, wrong time. And now Potsy's lost a bit of time trying to negotiate all that, so now the gap is 2 seconds again. But Mikau's still lost a little bit of time there.
Up front, Pacey, really tight to Pond, Jacob. My man, that's right. bit cheeky from Mikau turning across Trin like he did there. I don't think you really normally take that inside curb into turn 14, but see what happens like that. Pacey, this should be a straightforward move. Got a ton of ERS and a bit of DRS going down the inside. Pond will have to give way into turn 6, and he does. There's a move, and Big Al might get a move on Beatty as well. Out of turn 5, easy as you like. Better traction, better tyres, ERS and DRS for the Mercedes driver, and he sees himself into P7.
And the Fever just going side by side with his teammate there for 8th place. Still fighting it. He's really fighting it, isn't he? For somebody not just reserving and not really.
Fever has an illegal overtake.
Yeah, it had to be.
Wow, that has cost him massive. And Beatty fighting him. He didn't need to do that. And Fever's not happy.
Yeah, that was.
I just see that.
And Baymate just saying, okay, thank you, I'll take that. And now, yeah, wow. So a bit of disrespect there, and that's just karma back, I suppose. I'm not sure.
I don't think Fever needed to do that. He did. I think he hit him into the wall there. But I can understand his frustration. That is his teammate for the race is being gets by Trin into turn 14. But I can understand that frustration from Fever. But that could be a penalty right there if that gets reported. Simdog as well getting by Beatty. Beatty just having a bad lap.
Yeah, I don't blame him. He'll be a bit frazzled himself, mind you, with what just happened. But again, he is only reserving for Williams, and Fever is one of the fastest drivers in this tier, so I'm sure it'll all be going down after this race, that's for sure. It's only lap 10 of 31 now. Jeez.
Lap 10, and we got 21 more to go. Beatty looks like he's lost all confidence in the world. So yeah, that gear shift is evident. Fever caught into the back of Trin now.
Yeah, Beatty just coming into the pits now. No visible wing damage. I'm not sure if he's just pitting for tyres.
Ponnen has done a decent job to stick with Pacey and DRS. Big Al's caught up to Potsy with DRS. Potsy not really making any gains here on Mekau. They might need a safety car as Fever.
Really closing in. Yeah.
Yeah, really closing in. He'll get that move done, I'd assume, into turn 14.
That's the problem. All this part of the track here, you cannot make a move pretty much. You've just got to like stand by and wait. We saw it with Mekau. He was getting held up a few laps ago.
The earliest you could probably do turn 10 if they get a terrible run at turn 9, but that's even risky in itself. Turn 13 dive could do, but that's also risky with how you approach that corner. You might go for it here, Fever. Thinks of it. Trin defends out inside, but he'll get a terrific run out of here. Look at that. Right alongside him, better traction, better tyres, DRS. Not using any DRS. I think he'll try and just saw around the outside of Trin, and Trin backs out of the corner. Rather neatly, Baitmate right behind him. In the Haas, Fever a little kick at the rear end. Trying to fight that car and push it away from the Red Bull and the Haas driver.
Yeah, Bade will want to get this move done quickly as well, but that's a 3-second time penalty for him, and one of the first ones. And he taps Trin, and Trin's out!
Oh my goodness, Baitmate has misjudged his braking point. That is a safety car. That is Trin in the wall, and Trin out of the race.
And Bait will be...
Oh, Simmers hit Trin as well.
Wow.
So Simmers got to fight. He won't be able to get that removed as well because he will have to pit surely.
No visible wing damage.
Wow. And this is a free pit stop as well. Potsy coming in for the hard tyres for the Red Bull driver. It's an interesting call from him.
Wow. Well, he was on mediums, wasn't he? Oh, wow.
Well, I think he could have gone onto the mediums.
Yeah, he would have had a spare set. Yeah. Anyway, lap 11 of 31, everybody filing into the pits now to get their tyres done. This has changed the strategy pretty considerably. Most people were going for a soft medium, but it looks like some people are still trying to do it actually. They're going to be stretching their mediums to the end from here.
They very much can stretch your mediums from now to the end, sorry. It's just a matter of how fast they are, time you lose, how well you're able to manage them and take off those 0.5% per lap that you would normally when you are pushing.
So the top 6 must have passed by the pit lane before the safety car came out because everybody else has filed into the pits, and we'll see the top 6 surely follow suit.
Well, it's a free pit stop for Pond and Pacey, Sandeezy.
Yeah. There's no reason not to, yeah.
No, absolutely no reason not to. And it's an absolute gift for them because they put themselves in great positions right now. I think they could come out around P6 where T-Mac is. Yep.
Well, it lines up with their strategy.
Yeah, exactly. It lines perfectly up. It's just a delayed safety car as well may help them massively because those, as we've been saying, those hard tyres have no pace and are quite terrible to drive on. So a late safety car and they switch onto the softs, maybe another set of mediums, and they are golden. Or some decent point scoring position.
So
right now,
where do these drivers come out in relation to Potsy, the first driver to pitted? Yeah.
Mekau pits, Big Al pits. I'm expecting T-Mac to do the same. They all have to. Can't see them not. The biggest surprise is Potsy on those hard tyres. I just don't think it's the right call, but...
Wow, these guys are also going hards though. Pacey, Pondon, both on the hard tyre.
They have to though. That's
Oh, true. Yes, they do.
obligatory for them.
Yes.
They
Yes.
can't go on the softs.
So Sandeezy would have gone off the hards. That makes sense. Mikhail obviously onto the mediums. Same for Big
Oh,
Al. Where does Mikhail pop it up?
Sorry, I've just realised Pacey and Pondon lead the race. T-Mac stays out. Pondon's just behind. Oh, interesting from T-Mac here. See if he can make those medium tyres last.
They're not too much older, to be fair. No, that's a good point. But that's a gamble, isn't it?
That is a massive I think they could be very much in puncture territory come the end of this race.
And if there's a late safety car, he's in a perfect spot.
He's in a very perfect spot. I was just sorry, but I've just seen a comment in chat from Blinky. Man, should just pull over and wait for the police.
Yeah.
He's getting a slam dunk penalty for AIDS, and I don't see any way about it.
Yeah, there'll be something post-race, but I mean, Bate would not have wanted to do that. That was just a mistake on his part. Yeah.
Second is fine, and that happens when you're following someone so tightly. You're faster than them. They brake where they have to brake as late as they can brake, and then your braking points is a tad bit, later than theirs, and because you're carrying more speed, you will run into them.
And Bate ran so quick into him as well. There was no reaction.
For that corner, it was so quick, and he had little reaction. I think he was about a wheel, 2 wheel.
He couldn't
lengths.
have reacted in time, I don't think.
Yeah, 2 wheel lengths behind him. You just can't react. So
it's unfortunate. But oh well, we got one. Lap 12 for 31. Batemate's still in 10th place. He's on the hard tyre. Not the most optimal, obviously, but he is still in the race, luckily.
Luckily indeed. I think we'll have one more lap of safety car, depending on what he does and how quickly he catches up. This is very much touch and go.
And another thing about the hard tyre is that it's going to be a pain to heat up as well. These things just do not react too well to trying to get temperature in them.
Well, I know for a fact, throughout any safety car I am, with hard tyres or medium tyres for that matter of fact, I'm absolutely overturning that wheel so much just to get any amount of heat in those tyres, and then I'll spin up those rear tyres, get some heat, get them at around minimum 82 degrees core temperature. It's normally the minimum you want them, otherwise they're too cold and you get a lot of understeer.
It's a lot of management around all these cars as well. But these guys are all used to it, obviously. They've been around for multiple seasons, most of these guys. So.
Yeah, with how long this track is and how slow it is in relative to the distance it is, it's quite hard to get those temps into those tyres, because the faster you go, the easier it is to get those tyre temps in. But the safety car goes so slow that they just drop like a fly.
Indeed. Up 13 to 31, so we will probably get underway at the end of this lap. And we've got about 17 laps left of running here. Not even halfway yet, guys, but there's still plenty more racing to happen here at Singapore. Just having a look here, so everybody's done their stops. Nobody really needs to pit again, unless there's another safety car. There's still a question mark over T-Mac, obviously, but we'll just have to see what happens, I suppose. Just having a look at some of the position changes. There's a bit of downtime. So Pacey's gone up 13 spots, and Sandeezy's up 14 spots. It's absolutely insane stuff with the strategy, how it's worked out. But they more than likely will fall a couple of spots. People like Mikhail and Potsy and Feber, they will charge back up. With Potsy maybe not so much with the hards, but he may be able to make it work even.
Well, could you imagine if Feber started on those mediums? He'd be at the front here on those hard tyres.
Probably would be too. Wow. Yeah.
Quite a different outlook on who could win this race. Right now, Mikhail has so much pace, but safety car will come in this lap. It has bunched up the field. Potsy has a chance to stay within his DRS here. Don't forget Sandeezy in front of Mikhail. Pondon, T-Mac and Pacey come. Don't forget about them. 4 drivers with penalties. Wahid, Batemate, Sandeezy and T-Mac all 3 seconds for their name, but oh my, this is setting up to be quite the race restart. We are on lap 13, we'll restart lap 14. Safety car just about to come in. If you're just joining us, we had a safety car since lap 10. Timed on track for Trent, pushing the wall by Batemate. Pacey, Pondon, Sandeezy, T-Mac, all given free position. So I believe Pacey will go now. Looks like he is. Bit of wheel spin from the McLaren, bit wobbly. T-Mac kept with him so well. It doesn't look like Pacey had a good restart at all. Look at T-Mac T-Mac right there with him. ERS for the Mercedes into turn 1. He's going for the lunge. He's got P1. T-Mac is in the race lead, but Pacey's coming right back at him. Into turn 3 they go. Out of turn 4, side by side, the McLaren and the Mercedes go back to sector 3. That's beating nuts around in the pits. There's Pacey trying to switch back on T-Mac. Here they go, side by side. Potsy and Pondon changing positions. Pondon's dropped back quite a fair bit. Potsy's got to work to keep within the DRS range of Mikau. Is Mikau having a look at Sandeezy? T-Mac holds the lead from Pacey after some stellar racing, but Pacey isn't done just yet. Having looked around the outside, he'll think better of that. Sandeezy right behind over him. Mikau as well. Mikau, a very stellar racer. He's got a lot of pace to him. Potsy within that 1 second gap. He has to say they're on those hard tyres, and Fever's right behind him as well.
Here comes Sandeezy on Pacey. Oh my god!
Oh, that's...
He's just clipped the inside wall there, and it's Pacey done again. Wow. And Wahid's out too.
That is not an overtaking spot, and a safety car again.
Wow, I caught all of that. It just violently flipped into Pacey there. That's probably one of the more violent DNFs we've had this season. Wow. So Pacey and Wahid also claimed around there somewhere. I'm not too sure how he was related, but would not have been too far behind, I don't think. And now we only have 12 cars running now.
Only 12 cars running with 18 at the start. Latest victims, Pacey and Wahid. Pacey after he got tangled up in that incident with Sandeezy.
How is this car still going? Wow.
Landed in that wall. He got very lucky with the angles, I think. Went straight onto the barrier at a perfect angle, perfect 9-degree angle with his car into that wall. So I think he can count himself lucky, because that was a rather clumsy incident to hit that inside wall. What it has done though, it's gotten Mikau a clear-cut chance at P1 here, and it's also helped T-Mac with this tyre wear situation. Potsy gets a little bit of relief as well, but those hard tyres get to claim his blessings at the moment. Pondon dropped down to P6 from what was P3, lost out to AFR and Potsy and Sandeezy, I believe. Got the best start. And he's also got his teammate behind him, so I think he will give way to Jackson on those medium tyres, the softer compound, and try and hold up Matt Dabry, combine some Doggo, the likes behind him.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case here. Pondon's been doing so well recently. It looked like he was just sort of filling in the back a little bit almost with his finishes. Just really struggling to get points every now and then, but now he's been consistently in the points in Tier 1, which is really good to see. And he's been doing pretty well recently. And it's good to see him continuing it on the break. He's currently in 6th place. He's keeping that consistency up. He's just getting better and better.
Yeah, P5 and 6 in his last 2 races. It's great performances. As I was mentioning before about combined niche, but Pondon doesn't have all the pace in the world, but when he keeps it clean, he does find himself in great positions. A throwback to Austria, where he absolutely bottled what would have been, I believe, P4. Tonight we get points.
Tonight we just echo every Sunday night around at AFR. Yep.
I hope that gets featured in his race highlights. He does.
Hi Pondon.
Hi Blake. I hope you're having a good new year with your Veloce announcement. But, I think we're just waiting on Sandeezy to catch up to the safety car before we have green flag racing. So we'll go from lap 17. That will be 15 laps of green flag racing.
I'm trying to work out if he's got any external damage or anything. I'm not sure.
Sandeezy?
Yeah, I don't see anything. Maybe a rear wing, but I'm not sure.
We might be able to tell if he has side pod damage or not from that, if he's touched slow on the straights. I'm not sure if he'll have any floor damage, but we'll mainly be seeing how much he spins.
There won't be any diffuser. It wasn't on the rear of the car, so if there's anything, it'll be a bit of floor probably, but even then it might not be much, so... One more lap around for these guys here, lap 16 of 31.
I'm just looking at Potsy. I think you just caught it as well on the stream. All that little quick weaving, just trying to build just any temp you can find into those tyres. So hard. And as you said, it doesn't even matter where, because those tyres go to the end easily. Exactly. They're about 5-6 lap old. I know the
4 laps.
The game says 4 laps, but that's it. It's around 5 to 6 laps.
It's always a lap off, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a lap or 2 off. It's quite weird. I don't understand how they've messed that up, but Codemasters.
Oh no, because it starts at 0 laps, so it probably just... Wait.
Yeah, I think that first lap it just stays at 0. Then once you do the second lap on them, it's like that's one lap you've done on them. I think
Yeah.
that yeah.
It's very easy to observe that in qualifying, where it'll say you've done one lap on the softs, but you've done your out lap and then you've done your flying lap, and it says one lap anyway. Anyway, lap 16, coming through the second sector now through the old Singapore sling. So there's only 12 cars left in this session as well. So Batemate and Sandeezy, who, by the way, do have some penalties, but they are the only drivers outside of points right now. Which I'll just point out the penalties right now. T-Mac has 3 seconds, Faber has 3 seconds, and Batemate and Sandeezy both on 3 seconds as well.
And all could be very detrimental. I hope it doesn't affect them, touch wood. But a late safety car will kill their race massively, and we've seen that in Tier 3 already. Safety car has been called in, as it usually does when we have, the full queue behind it at the end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3, and T-Mac get the chance to back up the pack, bide his time, and go.
He has to back up the pack, by the way, on this track. You cannot pass the safety car on this track. If you try to, then it'll just limit your throttle, and then incidents will happen.
He's quite close to the safety car at the moment. I'm very surprised at how close he is.
Perhaps he's not giving Potsy the time to warm up his tires.
Oh, he might have just gone. No, he's thought better of it. Now he has gone. A little bit of a brake check, but all is well that ends well. Mick Howe sits within that 3.5 tenths gap. But
Faber.
Potsy. A little bit of a snap. Faber right beside Potsy into turn 1. There goes Faber into P3. He's got Mick ahead. He turns off track just a little bit, but the 3-second time penalty will be playing in the back of his mind with that extra warning to his name. Now Mick Howe all over the back of T-Mac. This could be a race-defining move right now if T-Mac can hold on. Here they go. DRS for the pair of them. The Mercedes and the AlphaTauri about to go at it at the end of Sector 1, into Sector 2, Turn 7. Mecca having a look around the outside. Might go for late braking. Having a look. Will get pushed off. Will be seen the rear wing of that Mercedes, and we'll have to wait for his next opportunity as T-Mac with some good driving, able to keep it in front. Mecca having a look down the inside into Turn 9. On the run down to Turn 10 now. Here they go. AlphaTauri having a little sneak.
Not trying to send easy.
Yeah, he's not trying to send it. Having a side of his line, all getting very close to the Mercedes. A bit of a twitch out of this little section. Oh, he's getting very close to T-Mac, and he has hit T-Mac. Very lucky as Faber's down his inside. That's why that was happening. Faber was down his inside.
Yeah, that was a very late dive. Very late dive there from Faber. I don't know if it was intentional or not even, but Mecca just had to react to it, and that's probably why he hit him there exactly. So, very interesting battle here, and Mecca still has to try and get by him. Otherwise, Faber is going to be right up on Mecca's backside here.
Oh, Faber raging and raging. He's right behind him. You can tell he wants to go for the move, and Mick wants to move on T-Mac, but T-Mac doing a stellar job right now. Yellow flag, Sector 3. That's Matt Dabry around, and that's giving Pondon some breathing room in P70. He's got Combine User behind him on those 5-lap old mediums versus those 4-lap old hards. But we're going to tick over now to lap 18. Metcalf, 2.5 tenths behind T-Mac, as T-Mac still just about holding on to that lead, but DRS is not enabled just about yet. But Mick getting very, very close to T-Mac, judging the braking zones perfectly as the AlphaTauri driver, and he's looking for that move on T-Mac right about now. Here they go, turn 5, who's going to get the better run? Looks like it's dead even, but Mick such a tight slipstream. Here they go, round 2, Jacob, round 2. This time Mick looking down the inside, T-Mac will shadow that off. Lunge around the outside. Mikhail has gone off the track though. He might have to give that position back. I don't think he will. Oh, hairy stuff as Faber has a look at T-Mac as well.
Wow, so Mikhail getting that move done in the end there. And T-Mac now in second place, and now Faber has to negotiate it. And don't forget Potsy. He's hung on to Faber here through all this. He's still holding on the 4th place here, and Big Al is right behind him too. This is a very juicy battle for second place, and Mikhail, all he's doing is just running away thanks to T-Mac.
Yeah, he is very much T-Mac on those, 6 to 7 lap old ADA medium tyres. Fever for company. Potsy right behind him. Don't forget about Potsy. He may be on those hard tyres, but he has the class of 1,000 men.
Slight battle there between Sandeezy and Bate.
Oh, battle here indeed between Sandeezy and Bate.
Looks like Sandeezy just
back to Sandeezy.
Anyway, back up front, Big Al really getting close to Potsy here still. Potsy is actually on the hard tyre, for those wondering. He is not just as fast as the medium runners, obviously. He's well in that DRS train now, as it is enabled.
Yeah, so crucial. DRS train that is formed from P2 all the way down to P11. Total of 10 cars in that. Big Al trying to size up Potsy, Fever trying to size up T-Mac. Mikhail's a whole 2 seconds up the road.
Wow, that's a massive gap. And he needed it, and Fever does have a penalty too.
Fever does have the penalty, so does T-Mac. Fever will try to get this move done now, not using any ERS. I don't think he needs to. T-Mac will show him the inside of the corner to turn 7 and give him that position. Potsy getting very close to the Mercedes driver. Oh, he's locking up, and he has hit. He's hit T-Mac.
That's caused the domino effect.
Leader.
Yeah.
Got domino effect. I hope he doesn't have wing damage. There's a good chance he might have the slightest bit, but we'll see how his performance turns out in the next couple or so laps, especially if he gets past T-Mac right now. He's got to be mindful that Big Al is right behind him, though, ruining any mistake and pouncing on any mistake he will make.
Yeah, and Artanis is not far behind Big Al, and Pondon is actually not incredibly far behind Artanis either. So one mistake.
Sorry, Simdog around the outside combined YouTuber. Alfa Romeo vs Ferrari. Oh, holding in Simdogger. Still side by side, 15 and 16. This could go on for a while yet.
And Sandizi.
Inside, this will turn to the outside. Sandizi getting in the mix. 2 Ferraris ganging up on the Alfa Romeo in the final sector. This is some spectacular racing as Sandizi edges out combined YouTuber into turn 18. Gets that move done, and the 2 Ferraris up to P8 and P9.
Wow, good stuff there from the Ferraris combined, falling down to 10th. Still on the points, and there's still some penalties to be sorted out afterwards, so he's still looking okay for now, but Rabbit has lost 2 spots. Meanwhile, attention shifts back up front here as T-Mac is still a bit of the cork in the bottle here in 3rd place.
Potsy, he's all over the back of him. Is Pondon spun? I think. Yes, he has. He has spun. He spun on the exit of turn 3. Stay with Potsy and Big Al right now. Here comes Potsy. ERS down the inside, easy as you like, and I think T-Mac might give his position to Big Al as well as teammate Potsy. Bit out of shape. T-Mac not going to give up the fight just yet, looking around the outside of the Red Bull driver, but here comes Big Al. Big Al having a look at his teammate. His teammate not giving him anything at the moment. You'd think T-Mac would want to give him. Oh, he is giving it. Got slightly in his way there, a bit of a miscommunication, but T-Mac does give up the position at the end of the day.
It was an awkward spot there for T-Mac to try to let him through without losing too much time. T-Mac is in this race as well, remember, but he's still got 11 laps to go in those mediums. It's going to be very tough for him. Anyway, at 20 of 31, and a pretty big gaps here between the top 3 cars. Mikhail, Fever and Potsy are separated by exactly 2.8 seconds. But Big Al is right on Potsy still, and there's still a bit of a DRS train down from 3rd down to 10th.
Sorry, Simdog getting a time penalty. Jackson within DRS range of T-Mac. T-Mac trying to hold on to his teammate Big Al, but I don't think it will stay much longer as he just drops out and then comes back in. Traction so crucial in these next corners. I don't think he'll be able to get DRS, so he'll be coming under a lot of pressure from the penalty-less Jackson. His combined YouTuber gets a move done, or sorry, he's battling right now with Batemate. Batemate getting the move done on combined YouTuber. Mac W picking up a 3-second time penalty, but all eyes on Jackson and Big Al at the moment. Yes. Big Al fighting for P4 with Potsy. Jackson looking to get T-Mac for that P5 position and then try and get into the conversation for this final podium spot. Potsy and Big Al on this the second DRS straight. It's the second time I've done that tonight. Through turn 6 on the way down to turn 7, nothing coming of it. But here comes Jackson on the inside. T-Mac tried to squeeze him out, but yeah, as you said, easy move. T-Mac can't really do much about that. Yeah. 6 lap older tyres, and Jackson will be looking up ahead down the road to his teammate.
Yeah, and Big Al is also getting pretty close to Potsy, but we'll just have to wait a little bit of time. But yeah, T-Mac, these mediums are proving to be a bit too much to handle right now. Just doesn't have the pace around compared to the other drivers around him, even though he's a pretty good driver, pretty quick driver. He's just not really able to really do anything. But I think you got to applaud Potsy here. Even though he's on the hard tyre, he's really keeping up, and he's holding Big Al at bay, which is sort of the main thing he has to do right now.
So hard to overtake around here. Keep in mind, Big Al has a whole 50% more ERS than Potsy at this moment in time, and as you're saying, Potsy's doing a good job, but he is out of that 3-second window that he needs to get P2 from Feber, who has that 3-second time penalty to his name. Big Al within 5/10 of Potsy as we round out this final sector, turn 21 into 22 across the detection point. Try out 22, now 23, and we start a new tour of this Singapore street circuit. And the final third of this race is well and truly begun. Seemed I got close to T-Mac in P67, but don't forget about Big Al and Potsy this moment in time. And we can see Potsy getting a good run
He's
through
always getting
turn
a good
5.
run. Yeah.
But Big Al using all the juice. Potsy is flashing. Big Al having a look. I think he'll think better of it, and he does. He might be setting up a move here, the Mercedes. Might very much be setting up a move. Just being cautious behind him.
Sandisi just tapping T-Mac there, and he's dived on the inside.
Divers, T-Mac turns it in him, they bang wheels twice. Batemate right behind them, T-Mac with the inside line to turn 9. But Sandeezy will get the switch back. Oh, Batemate hits the back of Sandeezy. That's compromises the line. Don't tell me you're going to do it again, Sandeezy. Not into turn 10.
He nearly did it again.
So touch and go. Side by side to turn 11. Sandeezy's turning in on T-Mac. And side by side again, turn 12 into 13. Oh, they're still barging wheels. The two, the Mercedes and Ferrari, classic battles from 2017 and 18. They're still going at it. Sandeezy with DRS, now Batemate's in the mix as well. Batemate with a good run, we might go for the lunge. T-Mac looking down the inside of Sandeezy. Batemate round the outside of T-Mac. They all form up to make a line, and Sandeezy leads that line for P7.
Wow, incredible stuff there, and Sandisi showing no respect to T-Mac there, knowing that T-Mac's on those harder tyres and is slaughter currently. But now it's Batemate's problem to try to get past now. It was just caught up by Sandisi's slowing down a bit earlier going into turn 9 there, but no worries, he caught it all good. And coming into lap 24 for 31 now. 23 I should say.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a safety car right about now.
There's still a fair bit of racing, that is very true, and the way Sandisi especially handled that battle with T-Mac, I mean, anything can happen here.
Anything can happen here indeed. And the strategy mix-up of the safety car would have come out with 8.5 laps to go is Big Al's got to run here. Big Al well and truly on the run. Here he goes, around the outside of turn 6, inside line of turn 7. He just comes back onto the racing line and takes that position from the championship leader. I don't think he'll be too happy with this strategy call. He will be quite annoyed at himself, but I think, to be honest, with how he was talking before the race, P4 would be quite a decent result for him. But he has Jackson behind him, and Jackson has done a good job in catching up to him and Big Al in that Aston Martin. Don't forget about him. Batemate still gets to overtake T-Mac, because T-Mac has DRS Sandeezy, but he's just fallen out of it. Just fallen out of it, 1.1. And he's going to come under pressure from the Haas driver as he's having a look.
Not a bad run. He might. No, he hasn't got much DRS though. He's doing it. He's doing it. Maybe around the outside. And T-Mac's gone deep, yeah.
Tried the switch back, but I think he just turned into it. And this has opened up the door for combined YouTuber. Batemate combined YouTuber. Round 2, here they go. Oh, side by side combined YouTuber and Batemate bang wheels and combined YouTuber. The inside line and the contact model in this game has to concede the position to the Haas driver. But I think combined can be pretty happy with the fact that he knows that the Haas driver has a penalty. And so does T-Mac, so does Sandeezy up the road.
Yeah, combined is net 8th place right now actually on penalties. Fever has managed to clear his 3-second gap to Big Al now, I should say. But Big Al may actually be closing in a little bit, actually, considering how far back he was behind Potsy originally. So yeah, I think Big Al's closing in on Fever here, so Big Al may be getting 2nd place. I don't know who's that, that's Beta Round!
Oh, Batemate around, and we could be seeing a VSC or a safety car. Doesn't look like we will, it just looks like a mundane yellow flag. So, green flag continues for now.
You're just manifesting it, aren't you?
Manifesting it, yeah. It's the best way of putting it, to be honest. It's just on Big Al right now. He's used a fair bit of his ERS to try and catch up to Fever. Fever on 9%, Miguel on 20, Big Al on 12 now. So he went from around 60% to 12%. Try and get out of Potsy's ERS to try and get within that 3 seconds of Fever. Such fine margins. They're about to cross that DRS section line. I think Potsy has
He's
DRS.
just got it,
He
yeah.
does.
Yeah, nicely done there, but he's not going to get it. He may not be able to get the next one though with how little ERS he's got compared to Big Al, even though they've both not gone much, frankly. But he is on those hard tyres.
Closest battle on track right now, combined YouTube and T-Mac 4 PA.
Would you...
having... No, go on.
So would you think, Seb, that the hard tyres may be quicker than the mediums at any point for the rest of this race?
Maybe at the end.
Yeah,
Maybe at
very
the end.
maybe. Yeah.
They might be equal at the end. That's what I'm thinking. But Potsy's got a bit of work to go about because he's got Jackson behind him. He's gonna have to defend from him for the next 7 laps.
He's not got DRS as well, Potsy. No.
Not got DRS, no ERS. Jackson's got like 40%, I think. Yes, confirming that. And T-Mac, another 3-second time penalty for him.
That's just
That
gone
would
from
see
bad to
him
worse.
drop. Well, he still only drops 1 position, but brings Pondon into play massively, and I think Pondon will be quite upset with how his race has gone, considering he was in for a chance around P7, and that could have turned to a P6 for him.
Yeah, tonight, he's still probably going to get points, touch wood. But, yeah, it could have been so much better. T-Mac having a little bit of a moment there, just coming out of that DRS straight.
Looks like Combined might have touched him.
Nah, I was on board. Nah, he just had a wee moment himself, T-Mac. But T-Mac will be struggling at this point as well with those mediums. There's not too much grip on them, to be honest.
Yeah, he made the gamble, tried to stay out. Oh, you see that? He's hit the wall. That's wing damage. That's for sure wing damage. He hits the wall again out of turn 12. Combined will say thank you very much for a free P8.
If that's wing damage, that's minor.
Yeah, it's very minor. I could see him try and see this out, but I don't know. Those tires are shot dead, and Pondon is gaining quick, and so is Baymate on him. So
yeah.
Otherwise, Pete go for fastest lap and take some points away from the rival constructors.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Even if a late safety car comes, you can't do anything because you got the pins. That's exactly it. So, at 26 of 31, 5 laps left to run here, and Artanis is within DRS of Potsy, and he will be sizing up and move this lap. Make no mistake. Needs a good run desperately here. Potsy's been very good at getting a good run out here when he needs it.
T-Mac has pitted. All eyes on Artanis and Potsy.
It's not bad.
Potsy's breaking. Artanis using all the air at his disposal. This is his opportunity. Here comes Artanis. Potsy to the inside. Artanis to the outside. Gonna swoop around. Potsy takes a poor angle into the corner and nearly bang wheels on the exit. But Artanis will have the inside for turn 8. And they're gonna get squeezed to the outside in the Red Bull. But Potsy, with stellar traction, holds on to P4. Artanis, I don't think will be done yet. Using some of that ERS on the run down to turn 10. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh, so risky from the Aston Martin. But they're leaving all to play for. Potsy goes deep. Can Artanis go for a switchback? Doesn't look like it. Potsy will hold the position. But Artanis will have to bide his time once again. It's brought Simdogger into the picture. Oh, could he go for it here? I think he's got a good enough run, Jacob.
He may do it.
Round the outside. Might go for the switch back, holding it. Potsy leaving some great room. That is great racing from the pair of them. Side by side through 15 into 16. Potsy trying to outbrake, locking in the inside front. And Jackson holding it in through to 17. On the run to 18. Potsy may have to back out, and he has to. That is some seriously good racing between the pair.
Wow, great holding on there from Artanis. Looks like Potsy even had that, but then Artanis just came right back at him at the one place you probably shouldn't make a move, and he made the move. And wow, great driving from the both of them, but it's far from over, obviously.
Far from over indeed. Potsy still has DRS and he can come back and race. This is what he does, Potsy. He just sits behind you with the DRS and then he'll come back at you at the final lap of the race that you can't do anything about it. But this is currently the closest battle we have on track. Jackson, Potsy and Simdogger, the fight for P4. Simdogger may have that time point. It doesn't mean he can't force the other drivers to make some mistakes. Eventually get them to lose their position. Jackson is blinking. So is Potsy. Potsy with the DRS advantage on the run down to turn 7. Looking around the outside, we'll try and outbrake Jackson. We'll have to pull in and tuck him behind. Try another plan because that will not work for the time being on lap 27.
Yeah, Potsy trying everything he can. They're both blinking, and he will know, at least because Jackson is blinking, that they're both on low DRS at this point. And Potsy does have the DRS advantage. But yeah, this is going to be down to the wire, I believe, for 4th place. Meanwhile, Big Al is really closed in on Fever. In fact, I think Big Al may even get a move done at some point here.
Oh, Jackson. Sorry, Jackson's just lost his rear end and Potsy's been given an open door invitation to come through to P4. Take that position right back from Jackson. Only a lap after Jackson took it from Potsy. Potsy comes right back at the Aston Martin, and Simdogger still with the best seats in the house watching this battle.
I look away for 2 seconds and then something happens. It's so difficult. But this is a very juicy battle here for 4th place, and yeah, Simdogger's right in it, even though He's got those penalties, and they may come into play, actually. Let me just double check the penalties. Send easy 3 seconds as well behind him, so not too much of a worry combined. Too far behind to really try and overtake as well at the end.
Big Al, sorry, just Big Al up ahead. Really putting pressure on Faber at the moment. Had to lift off into turn 1. Oh, he might have just tripped Faber there. He has. And Faber's got a poor exit out of the corner. I think Al might have just backed off the foot a little bit there, just to say sorry, but I don't think it really matters at the end of the day, because Faber is losing that rear end, and Al is all over the back of him. He is so close with the help of DRS and a bit of slipstream. Oh, he backs out.
That was very odd. I caught just that wee sort of exchange after the first couple of turns. I'm not sure if Faber slowed intentionally or something. I don't know if he lost it or something. I'm not too sure, but that was very strange from the two of them. They're just biding their time because they are just fighting for second place. There's no danger.
3.5 laps left, and Faber does have that time penalty, so you almost assume that this fighting is being a detriment to him. Why? Because Potsy is in that 3-second range of Faber. Yes, Potsy's on for a podium at the moment. Jackson is in that equation at the same time, but those hard tyres for Potsy are coming to life. They really are. He's dropped Jackson. He's gotten Al by about 5/10 in the past 3 corners.
So this is what we were discussing earlier about whether the hards could potentially overtake the mediums in terms of raw pace, and it looks like we may just be seeing it. And Potsy suddenly is on for not only a third place, but potentially a second place if he can reel in Big Al here.
Oh, Jacob, here comes Potsy. He's on the hunt, and he can smell some Mercedes and Williams blood, can't he? Look at him, 1.4 now. Really charging down. I think Faber's holding up Big Al massively here. Big Al needs to get this move done so soon. You see Faber out of shape through that final corner, and Al having to lift up the throttle into turn 1 because it's just too fast to overtake him. And now Potsy, 1.2, 1.1. It's just coming down and down and down, back to 1.2, back to 1.0. He's within DRS range.
And now Tennis is going to be out of DRS, I think, almost. Wow, this is insane.
He is. And now this is Big Al's chance to overtake Faber. Mercedes vs Williams. Faber blinking, Al lifts off the throttle, and Al should get this move done. Faber might fight it, he's going to stick his nose into turn 7. That's side by side, and Potsy with a great view. Al gets the move done, but Potsy is right there.
Wow. This is insane. This is an insane battle here for second place. Faber, second place was already lost for him once Big Al started closing it in, so that overtake didn't mean as much, but he's still going to defend from the other drivers behind him, because he could drop a few more spots here.
I think Faber's going to drop a lot of spots because his tyres are absolutely shot. Potsy could go for a move here. Oh, he thinks better of it.
It's a good exit,
racing from the championship leader. He's being smart about this, really smart about this, Jacob. He does get a good exit, as you're saying. Using that ERS at his disposal. He's blinking now, and so is Faber. Here comes Potsy. No, he doesn't. Oh, Faber's up though. He scared him. Potsy's down the inside. Faber will be ruining that. The tyres are shot. He's got Jackson right behind him as well. Don't forget about that 3-second time penalty that he has. I don't think Faber it'll matter too much because those tyres are absolutely gone.
I don't know if he's got damage or something because he's going uncharacteristically slowly here.
Yeah, uncharacteristically slowly is the best way of putting it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some floor damage because he is sliding around all over the place. And I'd just like to draw attention to him. As Mort points out, Mikau is absolutely
11 seconds. Yeah.
Stellar. That is how you build a championship fight back up. 36 points the difference. Sorry, 33 points the difference at the moment. I believe that will be dropped down to 23. You can only imagine if Mikau didn't crash in Hungary when he was in P3 and Potsy wasn't racing. Was out of the race, then that could be well down to 8 points, and we have a serious championship battle on our hands. But forget about that for the moment because Jackson and Faber are about to exchange positions through turn 6, turn 7, easy as you like. Faber, I don't think, can do anything to fight it. He'll try and stick his nose in there, locks up, but Jackson just has too much script to see him off into P4. Faber wants to get another look, trying to cover off Simdogger.
Yes, this will be for position here between 5th and 6th here.
Very much so. I'm going to have a look at the penalty situation because the tyres don't matter anymore. They really don't. It's down to the last lap and a half, and I'd almost say Mikkel is our race winner. Oh, Simdogger. Careful, son. Don't want to spin there. Got a chance to get Faber right here, and he might have just cost himself a little bit. But can pull it back through this last sector and the first sector. That overtaking spot is into turn 7. Faber will not have DRS assistance from Jackson up ahead, but don't forget about Potsy and Big Al for the fight for P2 at this moment in time. It is all kicking off in his final lap, Jacob.
Yes, 1 and a bit laps to go for most people here. Oh, actually, 2 laps, sorry. Mika did pass the line.
No, one.
He's that far
I
ahead.
think no, he's about to cross the line now. I think that was Matt Dubry.
Necker,
There
yeah.
we go. Final lap of the race for Mikel. And it's about to be the final lap of the race for Big Al and Potsy and Jackson and Fever and Simdogger. It all comes down to this for the battle for P2, the battle for P5. It has come right down to the wire. Turn 1, nothing happening between Big Al and Potsy. If we look down to Simdogger and Fever, nothing happening between them as well. Simdogger getting very close, so that could build into a nice overtake for the Ferrari driver, but he's going to have to set that move up at a turn 5 and through 6 on the run down to turn 7 into that braking zone in sector 2, the start of sector 2. But Big Al and Potsy, they've got a score to settle right now. Here comes Potsy round the outside. He's going to try and brave it round the outside. Big Al giving him the respect, just enough room, just enough racing room. Potsy will try and hold it down the inside of turn 8. They're going side by side in the second sector. Al inside, Potsy outside. He will swoop round the outside as they make contact with the wheels. And Potsy takes P2 as Simdogger has gotten by Fever for P5. Fever's tyres unable to hold on, but Simdogger in Ferrari into P5 and Potsy into P2, but I don't think we're done just yet. Big Al might have something to say for this, Jacob.
Yeah, secondary straight here. He's not got a good exit, Big Al. He won't be able to do anything for sure, and I think that's just sealed P2 for Potsy there.
Yeah, I think it has. Sandeezy might try and get in the action as well. He may not be in position with that 6 time penalty versus the 3 of Fever, but he's having a look. He's getting real close. Oh, Matt Dubry, fast lap of the race. Having a look, Sandeezy down the inside of Fever. Might be pushing in Fever. Might give the position. Oh, he's squeezed. Squeezed on the inside. But all eyes to Mikau, who wins the race by a whopping 11.6 seconds. But Potsy with a great drive to pull it back to P2. Minimise that deficit to 7 points that Mikau gains on him. Big Al P3, that's your podium right there. Jackson in P4, Simdog will take P5, a great drive from the Ferrari driver. Fever with P6, overtaken by Sandeezy, but that penalty costing Sandeezy and driving into P7. Combined YouTuber and the AFR in P8, once again points for him. Pond in P9, once again points for him as well. And Baitmate 5 seconds down the road will be in P10. Our last point scorer on the grid. T-Mac now through the final corners. He'll be majorly disappointed in how his races end up turning out. Looks so promising with that last safety car restart as he just hangs it around the final corner. Fair enough. And Matt Dubry, hasn't been a great day for him, but has been a great day for his teammate in Tier 1. Mikau with the race win. Matt Dubry with the fastest lap.
Yeah, just pinched it from Fever in the end. Fever would have been on 9 points after this race, but will only pick up 8 in the end for finishing 6th. Although there is still a fair bit of post-race penalties to sort out, probably. I'm sure Bait and Sandeezy may get a fair bit of penalties copped for their wee incidents, but Macadabry crossing the line now. Finish off an amazing race, an amazing Tier 1 race here at Singapore.
Amazing race indeed. Congratulations to Mikau. He pulls that championship lead down to 26 points. 26 points. He's still got a fair bit of a mountain to climb with 7 races to go, but anything is possible.
Sandeezy driver of the day. I mean, that was a spectacular incident, to be fair.
Honestly, I'd give it to Mikau with how far ahead he was of the field.
Fair.
Brilliant.
Potsy as well, though. I think he did amazing on those hards, and it all came to life at the very end of that stint as well.
Very much did. There is... Oh, I think... Are you on the race timing screen yet?
No, I'm watching the podium. Watching the
podium.
champagne.
Okay. I've skipped it.
No,
I'm talking
you're
to
good.
it.
You can read out.
That's
It's fine. Go ahead and read it out.
But, Mikau, the race winner, 11.6 seconds the gap to the championship rival, and the championship leader Potsy, whose lead is cut down to 26, but great damage limitation from Potsy, the Victorian, able to get into P2 from those hard tyres, keeping them alive, keeping in the battle, and that's why I'm getting by Big Al in those dying stages of the race. On that last lap at turn 7, Big Al in P3, followed by Jackson with a good quiet drive from the Aston Martin. Simdogger with a good drive in P5, Fever follows him in P6 with Simdogger's teammate Sandeezy penalties demoting him to P7. What was it, P6 line finish. Combined YouTuber in P8, another points finish for him with Pondon in P9, once again another driver with another points finish. Batemate in P10, disappointing finish for him considering he started on the front row. T-Mac, Matt Dubry, Pacey, Wahid, Beatty, Trin, Stars, Bluey, all outside the top 10 with T-Mac and Matt Dubry, the only 2 of those outside the top 10 to finish the race.
Alrighty, well, crazy race there of Tier 1. Very eventful. Do stick around, everybody. We have Tier 2 starting very, very soon. The lobby should actually be starting like in a minute, roughly. Singapore being one of our longer races. Races are almost back to back here. So do stick around for Tier 2. Until then, I've been Jacob Meister, and I've had Seb along with me as well, and hope you enjoyed.
Goodbye. And thanks for watching.